What's up, soil brothers and soil sisters? Guys, today we're about to talk about a little divisive subject, or should I say a divisive food. This particular fruit is either hated or loved by most. Yes, we're talking about the almighty okra. Yes. So, when I talk to people, people either love okra or they hate okra. Tell me, what side of the fence do you lie on? Alright, so we're going to talk about a few of the facts about okra. And the fact that they're divisive is one of those facts. Alright, y'all, so okra is a superfood. Alright, so it's high in fiber and it is high in rich vitamins and minerals. And it's considered a cholesterol lowering food. Alright, so most of us know okra by the name of okra. It is also known as ladyfinger. It originated in East Africa. Okra is high in vitamin A and vitamin C. Okra is also known to help in the fight on cancer, diabetes, strokes, and heart disease. About okra, most of us think that okra is a vegetable. Okra is a fruit, a mighty delicious fruit, if you ask me. I know we always talk about us having lack of magnesium in our foods. Okra is a magnesium rich food. So if you need some foods that will improve your intake of magnesium, okra is one of them. So guys, one thing I love about okra is the fact that when nothing else is really doing in the garden, okra is ready and doing this thing. I plant okra in the middle of the summer because okra loves heat. So if you're planting okra, you want to make sure your okra can get at least 6 hours of sun a day, or it won't produce as many okra or many fruit as you would like. Alright, so there's a couple of ways to plant okra. Now, if you live in a cooler season, you want to start your okra in the house and then take your seedlings and put them in the garden when the temperatures get nice and toasty. And make sure you put it in a place where it's going to get enough heat so they can produce the amount of fruit that you and your family would need. Alright, so, but if you live in a zone like me where it's pretty warm a lot of the year, you can direct sow okra into the ground. So what you want to do, you want to go ahead and amend your soil. Alright, so you can either get your soil tested and make sure it's good, or you could put a lot of compost in your garden and mill it in. Make sure it is all mixed in. Make sure that area where you're going to be dropping your seed is nice and fertile. Alright, so then you just drop your seed. Make sure you 10-12 inches apart when you drop those seeds, because okra can get pretty big and you don't want to crowd them too much, but they do pretty well crowded. So just to give them the best chance for you to get the most fruit, go ahead and spread them out about 10 to 12 inches. All right, make sure you water your okra daily. All right, once they start growing, you want to give them water on the daily. I have noticed that my okra tends to be a little drought tolerant, so if I miss a day or two, they still do well. In about 30 to 45 days, you should start receiving fruit from your okra. And that's planted from seed, guys. Now, let me tell you this. Once you start harvesting those fruit, you're going to get more and more. And the more you harvest, the more you will get. Alright, so with me, I try my best to not let my okra get too big, because they're nice and tender at 6 inches. About 6 inches, they're nice and tender. 6 inches and below. You know, and depending on the variety, the bigger you get, the woodier you get. So you may be able to get 1 10 inches that will not be woody, but most varieties will start getting a little tough around that time, man. To me, it's nothing worse than some tough okra, because you still have that great flavor, but you can't chew or swallow it because it's like wood, even if you cook it. So make sure you are on it when it's time to get those fruit off of that plant. Make sure you get them off. All right. So okra is an amazing plant. I love this plant. I make sure during the summer I get plenty so I can have some until next year when it's time to harvest again. If you can see by okra I got on this plant, I left out of town on 3 days ago. I made sure I took all the okra off the plant, even the smallest of ones, and I now have okra 3 days from now, from nothing to this. So you got to be careful. Now, I haven't cut into this to see if it's going to be woody or it's going to be tender. I'm praying that it's still going to be tender. And I'm going to go in and put them in the house, in the freezer, so I can store them up for that day when I want to cook me some okra. Now, there's a million different ways, depending on where you're from, how you grew up, to cook okra. And different people like them different ways. I like them always. Stewed, gumbo, fried, battered, fried. One of my favorite ways is to cook them down with some bacon. My goodness, that's like good eating to me. Alright guys, so I appreciate y'all coming along with me while I talk about one of my favorite fruit vegetables, okra. Guys, grow them okra. Till the next time.